Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac Show. I said Cognac.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist Cognac Wellerlane, and welcome back to Cognac's Corner. In another moment, we will be watching another fabulous video. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and always press the notification button to let you know when I will be publishing a new video. And also, darlings, don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about my videos and what other type of videos you'd like me to make. Let's get to the video. Pink champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Center's 16th annual Get Wild Gala. This event is hosted at the Southampton Arts Center, 25 Joe's Lane in Southampton. And of course, the event is honoring the very prestigious Mr. Michael Hayes. Event chairs are Ingrid Edelman, Jane Gill, Missy Hargraves, Jonathan McCann, Lisa Baron Schenker, and the event, the MC, is the award-winning advocate, Ms. Gill Rappaport. Keep watching, darlings. More interviews right here in the Hamptons. Don't forget to watch Cognac's Corner magazine, Pink Champagne Kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the 16th annual Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Gala. And I am here with a big supporter tonight, Ms. Beth Stern. She's been coming to this event forever. How many years have you been coming to the Evelyn Alexander?
I've been in the Hamptons for many years, and when I learned about the Wildlife Rescue Center, I knew that I had to get involved somehow. I've spent a lot of time at the center. I believe in what they're doing. I think the most beautiful part of the Hamptons are the wildlife that surround us, and they need us. If they're in trouble, if they're sick, or they get hit by a car, it's all when they get hit by a car or they're forced out of their natural habitat, it's because of us, so we need to help them.
Now, did I hear you right that you have like 35 kittens?
I do.
Tell us about that story.
I foster cats and kittens and special needs cats and kittens and dogs, whatever. Whoever needs me. But right now it's kitten season, so I think I have 35, 38 kittens right now. A couple nursing mamas, couple orphan kittens, actually a lot of orphan kittens. A lot of them need to be bottle fed. So I'm here for just a short amount of time because I got to get home and they need me.
If we want to learn about you, what you're doing, what you're up to, what you're supporting, anything, a book that you might be writing, a new book that you might be writing, where can we find out? Do you have a website? Do you have an Instagram?
Yes, I have Instagram at Beth Ostern, and that shows the journey of every kitten that comes into my foster program. And my website's Beth's Furry Friends, and it's all affiliated with North Shore Animal League America. So yeah, and my husband talks about my program, and people that are following me have been just so supportive and helping me continue my mission to save all these lives. I love it.
One more question. Why do you love the Hamptons so much?
Oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful place in the world. Really, the wildlife, the surroundings, the nature, the people, the towns. My husband and I feel we consider this home. This is our primary residence, and we love it so much.
You're so gorgeous.
You're gorgeous.
Let's do an air kiss.
And I think there's a hedgehog over there.
I see. Let's do it. Mwah. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the 16th annual Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Gala. And I'm here with Ms. Jean Shefroff. She is a major philanthropist. She donates her time and efforts to many, many organizations, and this happens to be one of them. So, Jean, you are a big supporter of this event. Tell my audience why you love to come to this event and support it.
Yes, well, first, thank you for interviewing me. And I love animals. And the four areas of my philanthropic focus are healthcare, women's rights, rights of underserved populations, and animals. And so this particular charity supports wildlife. And there aren't too many charities that support wildlife. And if you love animals, you can't really just love dogs or cats exclusively. You should love everything, all the animals. And I love what they do. I've had them on my TV show, Successful Philanthropy.
Yes, I know.
And these birds and wildlife, well, they need our help just the way people need our help, and we really have to look after the animals and our environment for future generations.
So now, are you on the committee or on the board for this event, or you're just a supporter?
I'm not on the board or the committee. However, I serve on 7 charity boards, an 8th honorary board, and then 9th would be an honorary trustee of a very large charity. And then I end up chairing 8 to 10 big charity galas a year. I also host many events in my different homes, and I work full-time, more than full-time, but I love it. I feel blessed.
You work tirelessly to support so much. And now, where did this love of animals come from? You didn't always own a dog or a cat. This is something recent with you, that you started owning a dog. I mean, when you were a little girl, did you own a dog or a cat?
We really did not have pets. We only had goldfish. My oldest daughter initially adopted a Chihuahua many years ago, but she was not a young child then. She was older, and we fell in love with this little dog, and so I credit my children. My youngest daughter has an animal welfare charity called Global Strays. It's international, and they do amazing work outside of the United States. But we're here today for the Evelyn Author Wildlife Rescue Foundation, and I really want to congratulate everyone involved here. And
yes, they're giving an honor to Michael Hayes,
which is very, very nice. And I think it's important to honor people that do good work and that support an organization. And I wrote a book on philanthropy, Successful Philanthropy, How to Make a Life by What You Give. And in the book, I say that anyone can be a philanthropist if you don't have the money to give, you can give your time and knowledge.
Like me.
Yes. However, that being said, those that have financial resources, I believe, have an obligation to give. Anyone who has financial resources is a very blessed person. Life is easier. You have to make it easier for other people that struggle to survive.
Absolutely. You always
And
give back.
animals.
Always give back. You always give back. Tell us a little bit more about your TV show.
Yes, it's with local television in East Hampton. It's called Successful Philanthropy. It airs 6 times each week. I've been doing this for quite a few years now. I interview different celebrities, politicians, fellow philanthropists, heads of charities, and that's about it. That's about it. I'm very choosy about who I interview because I want to interview people that I think can add something to society, or that are adding something to society.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And
I love that interview with Zhang Toy. Tell my audience where we can go to find out more information about you and your TV show. Do you have a website?
I do, and it's JeanShafiroff.com, JeanShafiroff.com. I also am on Instagram. I have 2 accounts, but the big one with over 1.2 million followers is at Jean Shafiroff. And thank you so much.
Let's do an air kiss, darling. We'll be back with more interviews, darlings. Pink champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane. Keep watching. More celebrity interviews coming up right here at cognacscornermagazine.com. Pink champagne kisses.
so Mike, thank you. You are amazing, and we come up. It's for you.
Good evening. I guess first of all, thank you everybody for the endeavor of just getting here this evening. The commitment to Evelyn Alexander is demonstrated merely by the fact that we all kind of pushed through this evening. Again, I'd like to thank the events committee for this great event. I'd also like to thank all the volunteers who have committed so many hours in so many different ways of rescuing animals, of transporting animals, of being on site and helping take care of the facility. I mean, so many people have really made this institution what it is today, and it's a gem when it comes to wildlife preservation, rehabilitation, wildlife care. Then there's the staff. I mean, what can you say about the staff at Evelyn Alexander other than they're tremendous? And we're so fortunate to have a staff that is so dedicated to the animals and to the community to be able to protect our animals that are so vital to the dynamic ecology and also the neighborhoods. We all interact with these animals daily in our neighborhoods, whether they're deers, whether they're deer, excuse me, birds, chipmunks, raccoons. I mean, the list goes on, possum. The list goes on, and being able to interact with them and protect them is so vital to having just an overall really healthy environment for people to be in. I don't know if people have really thought about how nature really helps creativity. By spending time in nature, you create this mechanism in your mind. I know I'm making it a little esoteric here, but it does matter. It does impact you being in nature, being exposed to nature. And then, of course, having Kathleen on board, I was so excited, having known Kathleen my whole life. and reconnecting with Kathleen when we were here in Sag Harbor, and to then know that she was coming on board here, and I know her leadership is going to be paramount in moving this Evelyn Alexander to the next level. So the next thing, I've got the staff, I've got everybody. What is the Hayes Foundation, or really what are my priorities? And a little bit of what Kathleen disclosed is kind of how I work in the foundation world. And we can use Evelyn Alexander, we can use the New York Marine Rescue Group over in Riverhead. I can look at other organizations, but what I try to do, and having worked as on boards of other nonprofits and treasurers of other nonprofits, what I have found is, how do you get leverage? And of course, you know, I'm an ex-investment banker, an ex-trader, an ex-Wall Street guy, and then I did a bunch of other stuff in my life. But how do you get leverage? And what I think is, oftentimes, the staff, the volunteers, they're committed and they're executing on the day-to-day tasks. But a good example that Kathleen brought out was that X-ray machine. We talked about that X-ray, the old X-ray machine, for about 4 years. And it finally, you know, blanked the bed. Finally got done. And the inability for them to address issues quickly stress them, stress the animals, stresses the organization. So what I do is I try to identify with the organization and work with smaller organizations where I can have these really comprehensive, intimate conversations and invest in them. And when I say invest in them, I'm not looking for a return on my equity that I put in. I'm looking to get leverage on the actual donation I make. I buy an X-ray machine. I got 10 years out of that donation that's going to help move this organization forward so that they can be more efficient. I like to provide the tools, equipment, or help improve infrastructure so that the staff can execute on their requirements day in and day out more efficiently. And that's not just here at Evelyn Alexander, that's how I kind of really approach philanthropy. Over in the New York Marine Rescue, they had a large pinniped pool, which are like seals, but also they used for turtles, but it was abandoned, it was empty. And I went back and forth from there over a couple of years. I'm like, well, we need to fix this. And they gave me a number. I'm like, fine, let's go fix the pool. The pool is up and running. They're able now to test drive the animals before they release them in the wild, as opposed to having them in these tiny little enclosures and not really knowing, is the turtle's flotation right? These guys get in the big pool and they can then judge, are they really ready to go in the wild? You know, another example is that we refreshed over at the Marine Rescue, another example, all their water purification, their ozone and their UV system that clarifies all their water, we brought that all up to grade at this point. The stuff was like ancient. And now they've reduced their footprint as far as the technology. It's more efficient, it's less using energy, and it's delivering cleaner water. So I try to improve, or I don't try to improve, I try to bring tools or fix issues, like an issue with Kathleen left. And one thing Kathleen didn't mention, years ago before Kathleen got there, they had a black mold problem at Evelyn Alexander. Well, we cleaned that up because guess what? The staff can't really work safely there. The animals can't work safely there. So whether it's a capital investment in improving something that's broken or bringing technology in and giving leverage and giving tools, that's what I do. I'm really happy everybody's here. Great turnout. And thank you.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac, Wellerlane, and we're here at the 16th Annual Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Gala. And I am here with the #1 honoree, Mike Hayes. Mr. Hayes, tell my audience, you must be thrilled. What does it feel like to be given this award today?
Well, obviously, I'm thrilled. It's something that I usually keep a pretty low profile, and this is kind of outside of my regular wheelhouse. So to have this kind of acknowledgement is I'm really excited about it.
I can imagine. Now tell my audience how you found out about this organization and why you wanted to be a big part of it.
Well, okay, so the credit goes to my wife, Mary Ann Barnett. She was at Martyrs one winter back in 2017 or 2018 when they had Evelyn Alexander had all the birds of prey there, and my wife was a emerging wildlife photographer, and she was taking pictures of the animals. She came home. She's like, Michael, this is something you need to pay attention as the foundation is being created. It got on my radar. We went and visited, spent time with everybody, and I felt strongly that what their work in this community in protecting and helping and fixing our wildlife when they're injured is really important to the community.
It certainly is. And I was listening to you talking when you were giving that wonderful speech about all the new things that are being acquired at the organization to help animals.
So the different things that we've did, my first early years, I was just doing general grants just to help the operationally. And as I became more familiar with the organization and working with other development people, I was able to ask more detailed questions about really what some of the struggles were in the organization. And I think the first big project came up was when they had a black mold issue in a large part of the examination area, and I'm like, that's critical. We need to clean that up. So we came up with a budget.
It's lethal to humans and animals.
Exactly. So
I know somebody that died from that, a mole. I know someone that died.
Stuff. So we went and came up with a budget, and I got it approved with my trustees, and we moved forward in cleaning that out. Then the next project was, I think I did a couple of more general grants, and then of course the Fox project came up, and that was a project that I felt very strongly that here you had an animal that could not be released in the wild, and he didn't have a proper enclosure that it could actually live a reasonably good captive life. So we went down the road, and I was not 100% responsible for that, but I was, major donor to help make that Fox enclosure happen. And then just last year alone, we've been talking about their X-ray machine for 5 or 6 years, and it finally died.
You finally got it, right? It
finally died. I'm like, okay, you guys are now transporting animals all over the East End to get X-rays. I'm like, that's it. You got to get an X-ray machine. Get the price. We'll get approval, and we were able to do that. And it's a fabulous machine because it actually can do mobile work outside in the field. So it's a really big jump up. It actually makes a big step up where they can actually now bring this on site as opposed to the old machine, which was a dinosaur.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. Now, tell my audience what we should know that's so important that the organization offers. Tell us the main thing it offers people.
What they offer is, and this is kind of somewhat big picture, but what they offer is able to preserve, maintain, and reintroduce injured animals into our community. And what that does is that it helps underpin nature in our community. Nature is a very powerful tool for individuals, and we don't spend enough time in it. And nature can be literally just sitting under the tree over here for 15, 20 minutes a day. But there's a lot of research on how that stimulates the brain. Being in nature, whether you're on a hike, whether you're sitting by a lake, whatever it is, it helps people as much as we help animals to be looked at. Their presence in our community help us. And that's a big piece of why we do this.
It's the number one reason.
Yeah.
The number one reason. Tell my audience where we could go to support this organization. What is the website?
Oh, I only interact on email.
I think it's
Evelyn Alexander.
wildliferescue.org. That's what I believe it is.
Yeah.
Well, you are gorgeous. Can we follow you on Instagram?
I'm not. We are a very low-profile organization. You can follow my wife. She's an amazing wildlife photographer. She's done photography work.
What's her handler? Her Instagram.
Her Instagram is
Name.
it's Marianne Barnett. So she's under Marianne_Barnett, I think, in Instagram, and she's photographed up in Greenland and in Iceland and Alaska, But what she does locally is unbelievable. In fact, one of her pieces in the private auction is of a beautiful fox that she took. So she's the talent.
I will follow her. Well, you are gorgeous. Let's do an air kiss. Mwah.
Mwah.
Don't go away yet. We'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews right here in the Hamptons. Big champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane. We are here at the 16th annual Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Gala. And I'm here with Dave Flanell, and he's got this very interesting bird that he's holding that's nesting. Oh, you like my nails. Yes. So tell my audience about this bird.
Her name is Vlad. She's a turkey vulture. She came to us about 5 years ago. She was hit by a train.
Wow.
Yeah,
She lived through that.
Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but we had her rehabilitated, and we sent her out to the Raptor Center in New Jersey, and she got fully rehabilitated. She can fly, but when we released her, we released them where we catch them, and it was by the restaurant in Hampton Bays, and she just became imprinted and too friendly with people that she kept flying onto people's laps, on their shoulders. They were feeding her meatballs and French fries, and she was just going to meet the wrong type one day. When this big bird flies over to your table and you got a kid there or something. So we went and got her back, and we knew it was Vlad because she's got a little cowlick feather.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah. So when we got her.
That's how you knew it was her.
That's right. And
him. Is it a he?
It's a her.
Oh, it's a her.
We thought it was a him for years, and then we had all the birds' DNA tested, and it's very hard to sex a bird unless they lay an egg. Sure enough, we got 4 of them wrong. And Vlad, I thought was my best bro for 2 years. Turns out my best girl. Right, Vlad? Are you my best girl? Yes. So we got her wrong, and we didn't want to change the name. We've been calling her Vlad for years, so she's Vladimina.
What's her favorite thing to eat? Is there such a thing that she might have a favorite thing to eat?
Yeah, mouse pops.
Mouse pops?
Yeah. We take a mouse and we stick it in water with its tail hanging out, and we stick them in the freezer, and then we take them out, and they're like mouse pops. And in the summer, she loves to, dig through the ice to get to the mouse.
My God.
That's one of her favorite mouse pops, right? But
Never heard of that.
They all eat rats and mice and chicks because they're raptors. They eat meat. So.
She's a vulture.
Yeah, she's a vulture. So, we're at Get Wild here, and she won't eat anything here because all the hors d'oeuvres are vegetarian.
Makes you think, right? It makes you think. I heard a story once that I believe it was one of the Beatles' wives. I forget which one it was, but she had dogs, and she was a vegetarian. She would only eat the dog. She would only feed the dogs vegetables. And one day she left. She lived on a farm, and one day she left, and the dogs got out and they ate all the chickens.
I bet, because a vegetable diet's not really great for a carnivore.
Yes.
Okay, and
I don't think it's exactly perfect for us either.
No.
But I think we should have a diversified diet.
A raptor is defined by, I've got sharp claws, I've got a hooked beak, and I eat meat.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's what raptors do. They have hooked beaks, they have sharp claws, and they eat meat. But Vlad doesn't use her claws for anything but walking. The other birds, we need the glove because they can put their claws through our hand, through our skin. Vlad doesn't have that power in her feet. She just walks on her feet. And she doesn't kill anything. She only eats what's on the side of the road.
Given to her.
Roadkill.
What she finds.
Yeah, that's it. And
How did you get involved? You're involved in education with the Evelyn Alexander.
because I'm the husband.
That's like my husband. He got involved too because he's the
You're the
husband.
filmer now. Okay, so that's my wife over there. She works for the center, and she needs help with volunteers, and she needed help handling the birds. And I've always been an animal person, and so I handle Vladdy pretty well. I handle all the big birds well, and not everybody can. So it's not for everybody.
You have to study and learn about these animals.
They just throw you in and put your feet to the fire, and day after day you get more. You have to be very confident, and you got to show them no fear. Because if you're afraid of them, they're going to be afraid of you, and they're not going to be. She's not this way with everybody. She's not this calm with everybody. You got to know Vladdy. You got to get to know Vladdy. All right.
She likes my nails, I could tell.
You want to clean the nails, huh? You want to clean the microphone? Is the microphone dirty? You want to see? Is the microphone dirty? No.
Let me ask you something. If we want to learn more information about the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Center, we can donate and support. What's the website?
It's Evelyn Alexander WildliferescueCenter.org, I believe. We just got a new website, but I think it's the Evelyn Alexander WildliferescueCenter.org. But I'm sure if you typed in Evelyn Alexander, you'd find us on the computer.
Fantastic. You're gorgeous. Let's do an air kiss.
All right.
Okay, don't go away yet. We'll be back in a moment, darlings. More interviews coming up. Pink champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm here with Tammy Flanell, and she's going to tell us all about this gorgeous bird. She's in charge of education at the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue, and this is, of course, their 16th annual Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Gala. That's a mouthful. So anyway, Tammy, tell us about this bird.
Well, Millennium came in. It'll be 8 years in the fall. He came in from Montauk. He was shot by someone, so he has an injury to his wing. He's unflighted. He can't fly anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, he's their very hyper personality, so it was a little iffy how he was going to do, but he ended up settling down, and he knows he's loved, and he has a lot of adaptations in his enclosure to make it really nice for him and give him things to do. So I think he's doing okay.
What kind of bird is this again?
A peregrine falcon. These are the fastest animals in the entire world. They can
Fastest animal?
Yeah.
Really?
They can go over 200 miles an hour when they're diving to get other birds. They go 200 miles down, they ball up their talons and they smack the bird, and then as it starts falling, they go underneath and they scoop it up and they go find a nice place to have lunch.
Very fascinating. They're beautiful birds, by the way. Really beautiful.
I love his little short pants and his little yellow legs. He's so cute.
He's got a yellow beak too.
No, he's a perfect flying machine. They design the U.S. government designs fighter jets using their anatomy and their physiology because they're just perfect.
He is perfect. It's a he.
It's a he. He's little. He's a little guy. People always ask me. They always say, how does he take down these other birds? And I'm like, he's a little guy. He's very healthy. He'd be the shortest kid in class. That's all.
Tammy, tell my audience how you got involved with the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife.
Well, one day we rescued some baby groundhogs and we had nowhere to bring them. And we ended up at a rescue center, not this one. And I really wanted to start volunteering, and a friend of mine told me his brother was from Evelyn Alexander. And I came and I was a volunteer for 2 years, and then Ginny Fratty hired me to take care of the animals, and that's where I've been ever since.
You love it.
I love it. It's the best job I will ever have in my entire life. I love it.
Animals are better than people?
Yes.
That too, actually. I think that myself.
100%. And they all know us, and it's almost like with your pets at home, they all have extremely unique personalities, little quirkiness, like I know where they like their food, what they like to eat, what they like to do. You know, this guy loves to play in the water. He loves it. So we'll get the sprinkler out and he'll just run back and forth and flap his wings, and everyone has their own special thing. And when you look into their eyes, it's like you can like feel their soul. Like they are just so smart. They're so smart. What are you doing?
You think he's bothered by all these people?
I don't think so. I think they're all a little hot. You know, even though they're wild animals and they live outside, they don't really like. Our big owl, I know, hates the heat. She's been dying all summer with the humidity. She might be inside, actually.
Keep them in air conditioning?
No, they live outside.
Everything lives outside.
Yeah. But they do have fans in the summer. Our big owl has a big fan. We give them water baths with the hose. In the winter, they have heat lamps and heated dog pads, and we put up plastic, walls to keep the wind out. 3 of our 9 birds actually go inside if it's below 40 because they're, disabilities or their temperament, they're not suited for cold. So they go inside.
Main objective to the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife is to preserve the nature and the animals. Am I right about that? If they're in trouble, tell my audience exactly what your organization provides that people should know about.
Our organization provides care and education to the community for all of the native species, so we can try to live together and take care of each other. If anything is injured, orphaned, sick, we'll have people call. If there's a way that we can tell them just to take care of it and let it go. If it's an issue, they'll send us a video or picture. If we know they need to come in, we'll try to get volunteers to bring them in if the people can't bring them themselves. But we try to take care of everything. They don't have anywhere else to go.
If the person is afraid to touch the animal, you will come out there and get
We will try. We did lose a lot of volunteers during COVID. I don't know where they went, but everyone went in their houses and never came out. But we're getting a whole new influx of people, which is great. And we have rescue classes. My volunteer, Don Lanham here, he does the rescue classes. And it's great. And, a lot of time a wild animal that's sick or injured isn't going to act the same. So they might be a hawk sitting on the ground, and basically you might just have to throw a towel on it and kind of put it in a box, something to keep it quiet.
Think so.
If it's a harder rescue, then obviously we'll tell you just to leave it and we'll try to send somebody.
What's the best experience you ever had working for the organization? What was there an experience that was so uplifting, so overwhelming?
You know what? There's so many all the time. I mean, probably I'm close to all of our animals. I'm probably the closest to the turkey vulture because she came in during COVID and we really just had a chance to really bond, and she kind of became my girl.
I see your husband adores her.
My husband and I call her our daughter. If she could be sitting on a perch watching TV with us, she would, forget it. And that was a really cool experience because she knows us. If I leave at night, she'll kind of pace back and forth. I have to say goodbye to her and hello when I come in, and they're really smart, and they all have their routines.
Your husband told me the story, how she got lost and you couldn't find her, and then you saw the back, you knew it was her by the tail. There was a certain...
Yeah, she was released. She was rehabbed for almost an entire year and ended up being released. We always put them where we find them in case they have family, and turkey vultures live in really big family groups. So we put them back thinking she'd find her family, and they had left. So she ended up going up to fishing boats, and the fishermen started giving her fish, and then she got annoying and they shooed her away, and she ended up at the Canal Cafe restaurant, and everyone started feeding her. One guy told me he gave her a bowl of meatballs. forget chicken fingers, French fries. A waitress told me
My husband told me that.
she jumped on people's shoulders, on their laps, and they called us and just said, you better go get this bird because we don't want to see anything happen to her because some people are not animal lovers. And when they went, they saw her little curly feather and they were like, oh, no. They didn't need to net, nothing. They picked her up with a towel, and there's this picture of my coworker just holding her, and she snuggled up like, oh, God, thank God, take me home, take me home.
Well, you are adorable, and this bird is adorable too. What's his name?
Millennium, after Star Wars. We have one Falcon, and we have no imagination, so he became the Millennium Falcon.
Millennium, I love it. So tell my audience, Tammy, where we could go to support this organization. What is the website?
WildlifeRescueCenter.org, or you can find us on Facebook, Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Center, and I think we're also on Instagram and TikTok. I don't really go on those, so I know we're on there. I don't know. I think if you just put Evelyn Alexander, you will find us.
You're gorgeous. Let's do an air kiss. Mwah, mwah. Don't go away yet, darling. We'll be back with more interviews in the Hamptons. Keep watching. Big champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist. We're here at the Evelyn Alexander Wildlife Rescue Gala. It's their 16th annual event. I'm here with this fabulous lady. Introduce yourself to the camera.
My name is Ulrika Parrish.
Tell my audience about this bird.
So this is Cloud. We've had him for about 8 or 9 years. He may be around 10 to 12 years old. We're not really sure because he came to us as a fully grown adult. But he was unfortunately shot and then hit by a car right in between kind of Bridgehampton and Southampton. So he had a very, very bad day. Jane rescued him, and now he's a happy camper. He gets breakfast in bed.
Tell my audience how you got involved with the organization.
Well, because I was always one of those people that would find animals and bring them home, and my husband got sick of it.
You'd hide them under the bed, right? I used to do that too. I used to bring cats home. My mother used to get mad at me. What are you bringing a cat home for? She used to get mad. So now you turn what you love into a good thing by helping and rescuing these animals.
Exactly. Someone has to, help them out.
Yes.
They don't really have a voice, so.
That's right. And we all should support this organization, right?
Definitely.
Evelyn Alexander WildlifeRescue.org.
Exactly.
What is your name again? Spell it.
Ulrika. Ulrika.
What a beautiful name. Very beautiful. Well, thank you so much, darling, for that wonderful interview. Let's do an air kiss.
And thank you so much.
Yes, more interviews coming up, darlings. Big champagne kisses.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. I was brought into this world wrapped up in pearls. I love to mingle, though my husband reminds me I'm not single. I meet and greet both the famous and the elite. I ride in limousines, drinking the finest champagne, wearing furs, dazzling diamond jewelry. A girl can't complain. I live the upscale life, dining in the finest restaurants, eating the best caviar for free. And no matter how much I eat cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.